Tobi Voigt, Community Engagement Director at the Michigan History Center, joining us now once again on the Oakland County MegaCast. Tobi, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. How is the team over at the Michigan History Center doing?
We're doing well. We're adapting. We're coming up with some creative solutions and just keeping on.
So a lot of museums and other public places, the last time we spoke, were either just closing or had already closed immediately in some cases, and now they're starting to reopen. Is that the case for the Michigan History Center? What is the status of its openness to the community at this moment in time?
Sure. So we are the state's history institution. So we run the Archives of Michigan in Lansing and 12 museums and historic sites across the state. And a lot of our historic sites were in state parks. And thankfully, we were able to open them in limited capacity quite a bit this summer. Most of our sites are open seasonally, so they close around Labor Day. So most of those sites are closed now. Unfortunately, our kind of traditional museums, which are the Michigan History Museum in the state capitol in Lansing, as well as our Michigan Iron Industry Museum, which is up just near Marquette. Those are going to remain closed to the public at least through January 2nd at this time. We are all state employees, and our governor has extended our work from home order for state employees through January 2nd at the minimum. And because of that, with us all working from home, we don't have the ability to open up our facilities to the public at this time, unfortunately.
So in the meantime, Tobi Voigt, Community Engagement Director at the Michigan History Center, what programming is available through the History Center to the general public? Are there virtual programs available, and what may those entail?
Sure, yes, we are really ramping up. We've been experimenting, trying to figure out how to do this because since we are working from home, we don't necessarily have access to our facilities ourselves, which makes doing things like live virtual tours a little bit of a challenge, but we're working through those. In the meantime, we really have started creating some workshops and webinars. In fact, we've got a series going on right now. October is Family History Month. So for those genealogists or folks who have gotten into it because you've had some time here to work on some ancestry, our archives staff and our archivists are experts in doing family research, particularly in particular state and government records. So they're doing a series of workshops every Wednesday in October. The workshops are free if you're a member of the Michigan History Center, and membership starts at $50. So if you go onto our website, become a member, you'll be able to access these for free. The next workshop is actually happening tomorrow, and it is particularly a focus on how to do research in corrections records, so records from state prisons and other containment type facilities.
Tobi Voigt joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. She is the Community Engagement Director at the Michigan History Center with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. At this time, in my notes, I also see that the Michigan History Center is giving some tours. Who are they available to? How are they available? Where are they available? And what do those tours entail?
Sure. So we have a lot of digital resources that are available on our website and on a few channels. And we do have a kind of an interesting collection of tours of some of our sites. And they're all a little different. Like if you wanted to do a walkthrough of the Michigan History Museum, which is really, tells the history of our entire state, we do have a 360 web-based tour that you can actually get into a VR and walk around the museum, or you could go to our website and just walk around the museum and see all the sites. So that's available. We also have different groups. Well, one of our museums is a historic house museum, and it's just celebrating its 50th anniversary of being a museum. It's the Mann House. It's in Concord near Jackson. And to commemorate that, they have created a tour video that you can access. Most all of our video content is based on our Vimeo page, which is really easy to get to. It's just vimeo.com/Michigan History. And once you get there, you'll be able to access a lot of our tour content, a lot of our history content that staff have been working on and developing since we closed in March.
Tobi Voigt with us. She is the Community Engagement Director of the Michigan History Center, joining us today on the Oakland County MegaCast. Tobi, what are some of the future plans for the History Center as you continue to have your shutdown until the governor's either reversed her work at home order for those employees of the Michigan History Center and for the state that runs through January 2nd of next year. And as programming continues to be virtual and need to be varied to attract people back, what are some of the plans for events that are coming up in the future that maybe people should keep an eye out for or mark their calendars for as well?
Yeah, we're really excited about this. I think, we, like most other people, we've been very flexible, kind of moving on a week-to-week basis with our plannings, not really having, not knowing at any given moment if we were going to be able to reopen. So we have been really focusing on those plans on how to reopen safely. But now that we know that it'll be another few months before we reopen, it's giving us a little bit of space to get together in a team of all of us, our historians, our curators, our public programming, our community engagement staff, we're all getting together to kind of make some bigger plans for what our digital content's going to look like. And I think things you'll expect, like for me, one of our priority is, we usually serve 65,000 elementary school students come to see the State Museum when they visit the Capitol every year. And obviously that's not a possibility. And we've got a lot of great content in our museum that can help educators, teach Michigan and U.S. history. So we're going to be focusing now that we can get into our building, and we're going to be focusing on creating, probably to start, some very short form videos that teachers can use in their virtual or in-person classroom. And then we would love to be able to get to some virtual live tours with classrooms. So we are quickly learning how to do that and testing our bandwidth in our galleries and things like that. So that's a big push for us. But I think you'll also see we're going to be creating a lot more webinars and meetings and things that enable us to share some of the rich history content we have. We were supposed to open an exhibition this summer called I Voted, Michigan's Struggle for Suffrage, which kind of talks about voting rights throughout Michigan's history. And we're really looking to take a lot of that content and turn it into a series of, Zoom-based presentations. So I think in the next few weeks, you'll start seeing a lot more of these offerings that we'll be putting out.
We're joined by Tobi Voigt. She is the Community Engagement Director at the Michigan History Center, with us on the Oakland County Megacast, all throughout the local area on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99, on Birmingham Area Municipal Access and Civic Center TV, on the radio on 89.3 Lakes FM, and on Facebook via Facebook Live with West Bloomfield Parks, facebook.com/WB Parks. Tobi, just a few more minutes with you today. If people want to find more information on the Michigan History Center, or if they want to engage in some of the local programming, ask questions about it, how can they best go about doing so?
Sure. Well, a good place to always start is our website. It's michigan.gov/MHC. Another great place where we put a lot of our digital content is if you're on Facebook, we're just facebook.com/Michigan History Center. You'll find information about all of our upcoming events. Plus, we like to post, Throwback Thursday photos and a lot of fun like that. We also do that on Instagram, which is, again, Michigan History Center if you search us, and Twitter. So we are on the social platforms. And then if you really want to take a dive into a bunch of videos, early on, our staff all created videos of us cooking historic recipes in our kitchen, which are a lot of fun. I made a Jell-O mold that consists of salmon and hard-boiled eggs, so that's a fun video to watch. You can catch that on our Vimeo channel, which again is vimeo.com/Michigan History.
Tobi Voigt with us on the Oakland County Megacast. Tobi, just another minute or so with you before we have to let you go. Is there anything else that would be important for our audience to know from the Michigan History Center, interesting for our audience to know from them as well, or anything else that you'd like to discuss today that we haven't touched on yet?
I just want to say that, COVID has been a big game changer for museums across the country, and particularly for us. My role is Community Engagement Director, and as you know, we don't have historic sites or museums in Oakland County or even Wayne or Macomb County. So I think what makes me really excited as being a Oakland County resident from birth, so you guys are my hometown, is being able to, for the first time, really offer exciting programs and reach to communities that we haven't been able to serve physically with brick and mortar museums, but really excited about the opportunities that virtual connection is going to bring us. And it's something that we're going to incorporate into our regular schedule of events, even when, we're all allowed to go back, this passes and we're all back in the museum. It'll be exciting. So I'm really looking forward to building some connections and relationships with people in Oakland County and Southeast Michigan that we just have not had the opportunity to do in the past.
Well, Tobi, we appreciate having you on today.
Thank you for having me.